All right, this is Bam Margera could be in big trouble by Patrick CC.
Bam Margera is in trouble. For
This
the
is
past 2
watch.
years, Bam has been in and out of rehabilitation centers that he was seemingly forced into going. At first, everyone thought he was admitted for his own good. Not anymore. New information has been unveiled that Bam has been put in a legal guardianship. People who are in guardianships usually cannot choose where they live, cannot have access to their phone, and sometimes cannot consent to their own medical treatment. His family and friends have been chasing him all around the country as he escapes from different facilities. They have a sophisticated system to find him and get him back to treatment centers. But Bam's situation is not as simple as a reckless man being protected from himself. Bam is very likely the primary income source for many of the people around him. He recently just got fired from Jackass Forever and missed out on a $5 million payday. And his legal guardian Lima, well, the last person that was in her care, died.
What?
I just want to make a quick disclaimer and say that there is a great deal of speculation that I will be doing in this video, meaning that what I'm saying is not fact. I found all of this information online, and who knows, it could all be wrong. But I guess you can let me know what you think. Also, my video from early 2022 about Bam is pretty much essential to figure out how we got here. Also,
Damn, so like, did something recent happen with Bam? Because I haven't heard Bam in a while ever since the Steve-O podcast.
will be very lost if you didn't watch my most recent video about Lima and Amanda. There's a lot of important information in there. But I'm going to do a 1-minute speed round of background information for the few that don't know who Bam is. Bam Margera and his friends in the 90s started a stuntman slash skateboard group called CKY. They made extremely popular videos filming these stunts and sold over 1 million copies. Jeff Tremaine and Johnny Knoxville made a popular magazine slash film series surrounding skateboarding and stunts called Big Brother. CKY and Big Brother came together and Jackass was made. Bam was the second most famous and successful Jackass star, multiple MTV shows, and millions of dollars. For his whole life, his dad has been his accountant and business manager.
That's pretty cool. Like that his dad like handles his taxes and all that. Like if you have someone, like a friend or somebody that can do your taxes for you, you're good basically. Or like someone that can manage your money. You're good.
Mom has been cleaning up Bam's mess his whole life, but worth it for millions of dollars. Almost all the Jackass guys struggle with addiction. Bam stayed clean until 2007 when he started getting addicted to alcohol and Adderall. However, he was prescribed Adderall for his ADHD. His best friend Ryan Dunn tragically passed away in 2011 and Bam spiraled out of control. For 12 years, he has been in the vicious cycle of doing drugs, public freakouts, trying to get clean, rehab, relapsing, and starting all over again. 2019 was a rough year for Bam. He had multiple public freakouts, a Dr. Phil episode, and a number of manic Instagram rants.
Get it! That's why. Because you don't get it. So what's before that? A heartogram. Why? Because I love it. Why do I love it? Because it's f***ing awesome. Lasky and Strigoi and English.
I forgot. Like he made up his own language. Like his own alphabet letters. This is pretty cool.
That's insane. No, it's the opposite, you f***wit.
He admitted himself into wavelengths rehab in Huntington Beach, California in August of 2019. It was supposed to be 30 days, but they encouraged him to do 90, even though he was paying for it. During his stay, Jeff Tremaine, Spike Jones, and Johnny Knoxville visited him and told him that he needed to sign a wellness agreement. If he didn't sign it, he would not be a part of the 2022 film Jackass Forever or any other Jackass endeavor in the future. Normally, he gets paid $5 million for a film, which likely is his primary source of income to provide for his wife, child, and family. This indicates that he was coerced at a vulnerable moment in his life into signing this document. He signed it. This wellness agreement included, but was not limited to, blowing into a breathalyzer 3 times per day, submitting to a urinalysis twice a week, having his hair follicles tested on a regular basis, and taking medication every morning while on a FaceTime call with a doctor hired by Paramount. According to Bam, he was prescribed 18 different medications by a doctor and
See, that's kind of fucked, dude. That's kind of fucked. Cause like, they didn't give him time to, like, cope with like the loss of his friend Ryan Dunn. I feel like that's what is it called? Dig House? The Dig House crew kind of like fucked
this
up
rehab.
on their part.
When they're going for Adderall and alcohol, I come out on Zoloft, Vistarol, Bipropion, Lithium, Concerta, Propanolol, Seroquel, Contrave, Trazodone, Vivitrol, Naltrexone, Latuda, Zyprexa, Lexapro, Abilify, Wellbutrin, Vraylar, and Adderall, because I have ADD, and Klonopin.
2 of those medications were Adderall and Klonopin, in which Johnny Knoxville allegedly told Bam he couldn't take, even though Bam had been prescribed Adderall for the past 13 years. So he was being told by a doctor one thing and by the Jackass team another thing. This magnitude of different medications led to extreme mood swings, depression, anxiety.
See, I'm kind of scared of when it comes to like taking pills and shit. The only pills I take is like Advil and Tylenol. Like, even if I have a headache, I would just go to sleep it off. But other than that, bro, nah, bro.
And ending thoughts. He described this as psychological.
Even if it's prescribed, fuck no, bro. Because that's how pharmaceuticals make money off of you. Notice how there's a shitload of fucking pills that Bam has to take just because he has depression and ADHD. That's like, bro. Like, all of that's not gonna do, like, just make it worse,
torture.
Man.
Despite the unclear rules, Bam obliged and stayed clean for over a year. During that time, he worked on Jackass Forever, filmed many of the scenes, and even submitted ideas for the film in which many were used. However, one day he was on a road trip with some buddies and slipped up. He took an Adderall. Immediately feeling guilty, he checked himself into a Florida rehab, but that wasn't good enough for the Jackass team, and they fired him from the film.
Jackass was everything to me.
Yeah, see, that's kind of fuck, bro. It's Adderall. Like, what the fuck? I never took an Adderall, but oh shit. But I know it helps, focus more. Cause like, damn. I actually want to kind of try Adderall, but like, then again, I don't. Cause so I'm already focused when it comes to like learning.
No. No, I'm so relieved that Knoxville. F*** you, Spike. F*** you, Jeff. You never cared about me, man. You just don't know what's going on. It's Tremaine and Knoxville. They're poison suckers. And they just are. And they just are.
Initially looking at this situation, it seemed pretty clear. Bam signed an agreement and broke it. Simple. Or as Steve-O put it, Bam, the 2 people you're saying wronged you are the same 2 people who organized the intervention which saved my life. Everyone bent over backwards to get you in the movie, and all you had to do was not get loaded. You've continued to get loaded. It's that simple. But if a doctor prescribes medication for an ADHD disorder that is well documented, and he takes the medicine, it doesn't matter what Johnny Knoxville says. He's not legally in violation of his wellness agreement. And taking 18 different medications daily in order to be in a film will take a mental and physical toll on someone. Yes, he has a history of alcohol abuse. Yes, he was addicted to a medication he was prescribed. Yes, he has a history of being a spoiled brat who gets everything he wants and cries when things don't go his way. And again, watch my previous video so you can hear the backstory. But he was unlawfully fired from this film. So he filed a lawsuit against MTV, Paramount, Jeff Tremaine, Johnny Knoxville.
See, like, yeah, man, that's kind of fucked, dude. The fact that he was prescribed Adderall. He should be
many others
should be in the
for
next
inhumane,
movie.
abusive, and discriminatory treatment in August of 2021. He actually won this lawsuit. Well, technically they settled outside of court for an undisclosed amount in April of 2022, but they settled because they knew they discriminated against his illness and fired him for taking a medication that he was prescribed. However, it was this clip that made people realize there was something else going on. But before we dive any deeper, a quick word from our sponsor. Morning Brew is a free daily newsletter delivered their
Nah, you
advertising
can't do
team
that, bro.
and advertise their new products more enough for people to want to buy them. So they're going to jam ads down your 15 seconds to sign up. Click the link in the description and subscribe to Morning Brew today. morningbrewdaily.com/PatrickCC.
So yeah, he's in a program, and the good thing is now is he's got he's under a conservatorship, and
It's not a conservatorship, it's a guardianship.
oh really?
The conservatorship
Britney Spears.
has financial implications. With the conservatorship, they're in charge of all of your money and everything. A guardianship, they kind of leave your money out of it.
Yeah.
And the guardianship, they're just kind of there's rules you have to abide by. And
So Bam is allegedly in a conservatorship or a guardianship. You may have heard these terms associated with the Free Britney movement, where she was basically controlled by her father for 12 years. He controlled her money, forced her to take medicine, restricted her phone access, and she had no
That
way of
shit's
escaping.
fucked. Dude, Britney Spears had it worse, man. Cause like, I forgot. Didn't she like she couldn't see her kid? Let alone have a kid, I think, or some shit like that. And like, bro, that shit's fucked, man. That shit was fucked. When the Free Britney movement and everything was happening, I was like, God damn. Like the fact that like someone's in control with everything, it's kind of fucky.
A conservatorship is where a judge appoints an individual or organization to care for another adult who is deemed unfit to care for themselves or manage their own finances. Knowing Bam's history, you could make an argument that it's justified. Maybe he is unsafe to himself and others. Maybe he shouldn't have access to the internet. Maybe he is incapable of getting his life on track by himself. However, these legal bindings usually give the conservator or guardian an unfathomable amount of power. They literally control your whole life, phone access, bank accounts, medicine intake, where you can and can't travel. The legal system kind of looks at a conservatee like a toddler and the conservator as the parent. The conservator basically takes all your constitutional rights. On top of that, it's interesting when Bam is the one bringing all of the money in for his wife, his parents, and maybe even his brother and friends and family. So they depend on him financially, and this could be a way where they get a little more control. And just a disclaimer, this is not fact. This is all speculation. I'm just a YouTuber who knows nothing about anything. Don't go threatening anybody. Don't go spamming free Bam on social media. But who is Bam's conservator? Who is this person controlling all his decisions? And what are they doing with this power? His mom? His wife? Brother? Nope. Lima Yevremovich. Lima is the owner and founder of Aura, which is a digital mental health services company. They apparently have proprietary cutting-edge technology that will predict and reduce relapse, self-delete, harm to oneself or others. They basically approach mental therapy like physical therapy, trying to use data and vital information about the body and brain to diagnose mental issues. Because
Bro, are you telling me like they implanted a chip in Bam Margera? That's
just
wild.
asking someone how they feel and giving them medicine seems like an outdated form of treatment. Lima got popularity on the internet by partnering with Soft White Underbelly, which is a YouTube channel owned by Mark Laeda. Mark interviews addicts, criminals, prostitutes, victims, people with rare conditions, basically anyone outside of the appropriate or expected normal course in life, whether it was by choice, by force, or by chance. These interviews are intended to humanize these people. Soft White Underbelly not only interviews these people, but they try to positively impact their lives, constantly checking up on them, buying them food, giving them resources, not just profiting off their pain. It seems like Mark partnered with Lima to have a professional mental health services company in his corner to provide even more value to his interview subjects if they choose to get help. Lima and Mark decided to raise money and use someone who they interviewed to get services and essentially prove that Aura's method and technology works. That person was Amanda, who was a victim of drug addiction and prostitution. Lima and her company Aura got Amanda off the streets and 8.5 months sober. Then she died in her sleep. I made an entire video about Amanda and Lima's story. It's suspicious for sure, but after Amanda died, Lima immediately focused on getting Bam under her control. In April of 2021, Lima posted
Yo, what the fuck, bro? Hey, yo. What this is speculation. This is, I don't think this is true. Cause he did say in the beginning of the
this
video,
on
it's
Instagram.
like,
Just wrapped up a very successful Las Vegas trip with Aura's partnering treatment centers. Thank you for all the support with Amanda, to Bam Margera, and Nikki B for backing us. So while Bam was sober, if you count being on 18 prescribed medications sober, he met Lima. We don't know how or why. He, quote, backs her company, which insinuates that he invested some money, or does he just support them? We're not really sure. The only clue we have is this photo, which was posted on Bam's wife's Instagram in January of 2021. The man right here is Albert Monero Jr. We know this because Nikki posted another photo with him, tagged and with the hashtag family. Are they related? Not sure. Albert Monero Jr.'s LinkedIn states that he is the program director at Aura. It's like
yo, that's some Bro, that's so.
That Albert is the one who introduced
Yo.
Bam to Lima, but I guess we can't be sure. Anyways, a few weeks after Lima posts about Bam backing Aura, Amanda dies. It was a sad day for the soft white underbelly community, as she was 8.5 months sober and passed away in her sleep. Bam spent a lot of 2021 publicly attacking the Jackass guys after being fired. This culminated to Jeff Tremaine filing a restraining order against Bam because he was threatening Jeff's life. Bam rants to Tremaine in an incoherent series of texts about signing a contract. We don't know what the contract says because it is written in Bam's made-up language Strigoi. The judge granted Tremaine this restraining order in June of 2021. From here, a petition for a court-ordered evaluation against Bam was ordered and granted on the same exact day in Maricopa County, Arizona on June 1st, 2021. This is basically when you want someone to be evaluated and apply with a mental health facility, but then you need a judge to sign off on it, so the subject is legally required to comply. We're not sure why it was applied for in Arizona specifically, or who applied for it. All we know is that these people are involved in the application, and none of them are his family, but Lima's name is on the document. 3 days later, Judge Christian Bell granted a detention order, and Bam was detained, medicated, and ordered by a court treatment at a mental health facility. Basically, he was forced into treatment. Now, whenever Bam is in treatment, it's a dead giveaway on his Instagram. Someone else makes posts and turns off the comments. It's always old photos, videos, and memories that his audience eats up. Very similar to what was happening with Britney Spears. Sometimes they even sell merchandise while he's in rehab. In early August, he was transferred from Arizona to an outpatient program in Florida, so he spends most of his time in a rehab, but he was able to leave the facility at night or maybe on weekends. Why was he transferred? Well, we don't know. The first thing he did when he got out on August 9th was sue Jackass, Paramount, Jeff Tremaine, and everyone else. He was still very angry at them. 1 month later, on September 14th, Lima Yevremovich filed an application to become Bam's legal guardian. On that same day, Bam's wife filed for custody of their child. Some people look at this as a setup. That does not seem like a coincidence. Lima's tactic of getting people into conservatorships or guardianships is posted on her Aura website. Step 1 is getting them into jail. And what do you know? 2 weeks later, on September 26th, Bam was arrested, and the story couldn't be any more suspicious.
He has a woman that's kind of his minder. He arrived from Orlando back to the hotel about 3 or 4 o'clock this morning, started attacking her. She just let me know, and they're doing cocaine in the room. He's got like a prostitute or some woman like that in the room as well. He attacked her, grabbed her breast, and she said she thinks he tore her implant, and she came down and then went back up, and so they're up in the room right now. I just arrived to the hotel this minute.
So he attacked her at the Don Cesar?
Right, in the room.
Around 3 to 4? Okay. Around 3 to 4?
This is just now. Now.
And does she need a paramedic? You said she told
I don't know. Stage name is Bam, B-A-M, from the show Jackasses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The Jackass.
How tall does he look?
So he's 5'11". Oh, wait, no, he's not that tall. He's 5'6", 5'7".
5'7". Thin, medium, heavy build?
Medium.
Does he seem to be under the influence of drugs, alcohol right now?
Absolutely. There's no question about it.
Okay, because you said they were doing cocaine. Is that correct?
Cocaine and really highly intoxicated as well. He's in severe psychosis. I believe he's been diagnosed as paranoid schizophrenic. He's been diagnosed as bipolar. He's got a long history of mental illness. He's escaped from 3 treatment centers in the last 2 months, actually. So.
Bro, this dude is an
So according to this unnamed
fuck?
caller, Bam was in a hotel room high on Coca-Cola with a prostitute. He attacked her and tore her breast implant, but this caller didn't know if the woman needed medical attention. He said that it happened at 3 a.m., but the woman went back upstairs with him. He also didn't know how tall Bam was, but knew that he was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic, bipolar, and knew that he escaped 3 treatment centers in the last 2 months. How did he know this information? Well, he said that Bam has a minder who gave him this information. A minder is someone whose job it is to look after someone else. Turns out this unnamed caller is a man named Stephen Timmer, who's an interventionist that was hired by a, quote, trustee to get Bam to treatment. Steven said the woman in the room's name was Missy, who is his 65-year-old aunt. This is the woman being referred to as his minder. And when the police got upstairs, expecting an assault and cocaine everywhere, they just got a very normal Bam and his aunt. The police go in the room to talk to Bam, and another officer goes to talk to his aunt Missy. Missy is on the phone with someone.
Okay, so what's going on? You can hang up. This is his guardian.
We can assume it's Lima, and we can even hear her voice for a second, and it sounds like her. We can also assume that she's instructing Missy on what to do and what to say. The police officer asks Missy who she is to Bam, and she goes on this long rant, not answering the question, not saying anything about a prostitute or an assault, and just says that Bam is out of his mind. Plus, she also said,
He just got here.
So the guy who made the call said that Bam attacked a woman at 3 a.m. on cocaine and she was a prostitute. Then this woman says, no, he just got here. What? Missy is embarrassed, nervous, and probably feeling shame because she is setting up her nephew to be locked in yet another rehab. Bam was detained. Did he commit a crime? We don't know. All we have is this little clip where he says, from who, Lima? And the cop says, I don't know, I just have a judge's order.
From who, Lima? Just have a judge's order, all right? From Lima? I don't know.
So the cop has an order from the judge to take Bam to a rehab over seemingly a false story. It seems like Lima, Missy, and Steven made up a lie about Bam doing drugs and assaulting a prostitute to get the police called to the hotel. Once they were called, Lima was able to secure her conservatorship and get Bam under her control. Whether the story was real or not, Lima was now officially Bam's guardian. This reminds us of when Amanda got arrested over allegedly beating her father with a pipe to be taken to jail and then into Lima's care. Bam, a few months later, told the story. He knows he was set up and sabotaged.
I was gonna see my wife and kid who I haven't seen in a half of a year, to hug the shit out of them. Then a minute goes by and the police are knocking on the door. They handcuff me and take me back to a rehab.
But he doesn't realize it was his own family who did it to him. That was in September of 2021. We basically heard nothing about.
Yo, that's fucked up, bro. What the fuck? Hey, yo, we need to get this video fucking, like, popular. Because this sounds, that was pretty sus.
Bam for the next 8 months. It was
That
also
shit's
during
pretty
this
sus.
time that I made my video. We got a few random posts on his social media that someone else is controlling, claiming that he is working on his health. Most of his core fan base thought this was really good for him. It was also during this 8-month period that BJ Investigates started exposing this information and doing her due diligence. She's also the one who got access to almost all of these court documents that we now have been checking. The Free Bam movement started attracting a larger audience. It's also because of this public information that BJ was exposing that she is now facing lawsuits from various people involved in this situation. Then on May 13th, 2022, a photo was posted to Bam's Instagram that said Bam's free. He had accomplished 1 year of sobriety. This is Lima's benchmark for success. He was back on Cameo, back skateboarding, posting on Instagram by himself. Unfortunately, he had a skate accident, but it seemed like the most normal version of Bam. He even did a podcast with Steve-O, but that wasn't released until August. We can speculate on that in a minute. Everything was all good, but on June 12th, a throwback photo, then another, and another, and another. Even fellow Jackass member Chris Pontius started noticing something was weird. Who's always posting as Bam? He was just free after 1 year, and now he's gone again? Yes, he was sent back
Damn, bro. Yo, that's fucking... Yo, this is some...
to a
this is
rehab
some
in
fuck
Florida.
shit,
This was
dude.
confirmed to the public on June 13th, when Bam fled his court-ordered treatment center unauthorized. He was reportedly unhappy with the care he was receiving and decided to take matters into his own hands. He was found in a Florida hotel 2 days after fleeing and admitted himself back into another rehab. Not even 2 weeks later, on June 25th, Bam would escape another treatment facility. This time, however, a video surfaced of him hanging with a weird group of friends, seemingly very inebriated. They even film and laugh at him while he's passed out on a hotel room bed. A year's worth of sobriety ruined. 2 days later, he was found in a different Florida hotel where police, a crisis intervention team, and both of his parents took him to yet another facility. On top of this craziness, his wife was not allowing him to see his son. Allegedly, she was not communicating with him directly, only through their custody team. I don't think anyone would really blame her, considering these hectic times. So Bam is running around like a madman. Most people look at this as a man refusing to get clean, which very well could be true. Maybe he's sick of being forced into rehabs for the past 2 years of his life. Maybe he is actually manic and a danger to himself. But the Free Bam movement got so big since he was constantly disappearing from the public eye. His fans were so concerned with Bam's safety that they had to address it on social media. Whoever's controlling Bam's account admitted that Bam had been in a temporary healthcare guardianship with Lima, not a conservatorship. Some people say it's the same exact thing, but she is no longer his guardian today. They assure us that Bam is getting the care he needs, and being out of the public eye is the best thing for Bam right now. They say if he chooses to speak on it, he will, but they don't give him access to his phone, and whenever he says something that they don't like, they delete it or not approve it to get posted. So basically, if he chooses to speak on it and says what they want him to say, is when he'll speak on it. I guess the Instagram post wasn't enough, so they released the podcast with Steve-O. This was uploaded in August, but it was filmed in May, before he escaped all these rehabs.
I would love to set the record straight that number one, Bam has not ever been under a conservatorship, that the temporary guardianship he was under did not ever have any financial implications, and what's come to be known as the Free Bam movement has really been very toxic. It's served to try to assassinate the character of Bam's former guardian, Lima, who has never been paid to work on Bam's case, has never done anything but try to help Bam.
What you will notice in this podcast is Steve-O is trying to control the conversation in a very specific way, so he can stop the conspiracy theorists from continuing their narrative.
The hashtag Free Bam. And people seem to think that you're the Britney Spears of Jackass. The evil villains have taken over your life and stolen all your money, and like, can we safely say that none of that is true?
I don't know what's been going on because I haven't been able to look. As a matter of fact, I can't even post on my Instagram. Everything has to go for Johnny Schiller from Heart Supply.
So Bam does not have control over his Instagram. Steve-O didn't like the way Bam responded to this question, so he asked it again.
Can we safely say that you have not been a prisoner and mistreated and stolen from the whole, help us understand your situation?
No, I was just getting treatment for my alcohol and bipolar, and I just did more time than I was supposed to just from getting kicked out for dumb reasons. But now I'm out. I get freedom. I get a phone, and nobody was forcing me to be there.
Also, something interesting I want to point out is that the reason why Bam was in these rehabs for 1 year is really strange.
I did Madero Beach on the west side, and I made it.
Yo, so is Steve in on this?
75 days. I have 15 days left. And they're like, Bam, you've been rocking the same sweatpants for 75 days. I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to get any pussy around here. I don't give a shit. And they're like, well, you're getting kicked out for bad hygiene. I'm like, oh my God. So I get to another place in Ocala National Forest. So I'm like, so this is day 76. They're like, oh no, you're starting at square one. I'm like, what? So I make it to day 80 there, and I smoke a cigarette and I throw it out, and it's smoking in a bush, and they film it. They're like, you could have lit the whole national forest on fire. You're getting sent to West Palm Beach. I'm like, what? Now I know I'm getting back to square one. That's why I've been doing this shit for a year.
Now, I don't really know much about rehabs, but it seems kind of ridiculous that they would make you restart your entire rehab program just because you didn't change your sweatpants. And also, smoking a cigarette, then flicking it into a bush, and apparently trying to set the place on fire is another reason why you need to restart your entire rehab process for 90 days? Maybe one of you can confirm that in the comments, but that doesn't seem like a valid reason. It seems like something else happened that Bam doesn't really know about.
Yeah, that shit sounds sussy, man. That shit sounds sussy.
Maybe
now.
it was Lima keeping him in the rehab. Steve ends the podcast with a powerful message.
Please be supportive of Bam being in rehab, of taking sobriety seriously, because anybody who's talking about free Bam, let him out, get him out of treatment, like, you're trying to kill my fucking brother, and don't do that.
There are a lot of people that will look at this situation like Steve-O and say Bam isn't getting sober because of his own actions. Nobody is to blame but Bam, and his family just wants to help. And that is 100% true. Nobody will be able to get sober without their own determination. However, there are so many factors here that just make this suspicious. After Ryan Dunn passed in 2011, Bam was in terrible shape for years, until 2016. Nobody ever forced him in and out of rehabs. No guardianships, just partying with him and enabling his lifestyle when he was in pain. His most successful attempt at getting sober was in 2016 and 2017 when he decided to move to Estonia, then Barcelona on his own volition. He lost a lot of weight, skateboarded every day, and stayed sober for a year. When he got back to the States, he had a kid. A year later, he's throwing parties at Castle Bam, seemingly back in this toxic lifestyle. But to me, he looks way more in control than his wife, who's diving in the crowd full of men with her pants off. So it's all good when everyone else wants to party, but not when Bam does, even though he's the one paying for everything. He wrote this long letter from rehab in 2019. In this letter, he said they would not let him take business calls. They would not let him manage his Cameo account that had $20,000 worth of deliverables. He said that being in rehab is preventing him from progressing because he cannot create or work. On top of that, he was the one who was paying for the treatment. At this point in early 2019, he was not being medicated in rehab. It was during the wellness agreement that Paramount, Jeff Tremaine, and Johnny Knoxville
Yo, I'm sorry I'm not reacting, bro. This shit's is wild.
made him sign in
This shit's wild. This is a lot of twisted
mid-2019,
turns, that's why.
where he was put on 18 different medications that they forced him to take every single day. I don't think people realize how damaging it is to a person when they're on multiple antidepressants, mood stabilizers, uppers and downers. That makes you crazy. But whenever Bam talks about it, the public just thinks, here we go again. And they don't believe anything he says. Plus, the one drug he couldn't take was Adderall. The only drug he was actually prescribed for many years. And once he took one Adderall, he got booted from the film. Then when he got fired from Jackass, which he normally makes $5 million from, his friends and family probably thought, holy shit, Bam's behavior just made us lose all of that money. The last Jackass film was in 2011, so Bam hasn't made a giant check like that in 11 years, and now won't ever get another Jackass payday. Bam didn't care about the money because his dad has been managing his finances for the past 20 years. He doesn't know how money works. His family realized they needed to do something by force. So for the past year or so, they've been chasing him all over the world and setting him up to lock him up in rehabs, because if he can't get back on the right track, his whole family goes broke. Again, all speculation, no facts, just a dumb YouTuber here. But what we can all agree on is Bam 100% needs to tighten up and get his act together, because other people have more control over his life than he does, and it could get scary.
Yo, that's fucking wild, bro. I don't think people realize how messed up taking all those medication would make you. I feel bad for the guy. Exactly, man. Like the fucking, bro, prescriptions. You told fine that the same conversation torturing experience with people reject best. I would believe it. I watched him break down and cuss everyone out. I can't bless to feel Tremaine Knox were too harsh for firing him over a pill. But yeah, it's just stupid, man. Like for an Adderall pill, bro. But damn, man, free my man.